Hi, everyone. Look who is on moderate time. I actually see it's 7:02, so I didn't 100% make it. Thought that I made it, and then I actually got a text. I need to check this. That someone found my disc golf disc that I lost, but it's not even the one that I was hoping someone would find, which is really disappointing. I lost my favorite disc. Anyways, hello. It tells me that 0 people are here, but I see that there are people in the chat. So that is not accurate. Let me pull up. Also, let me know, you guys, if the sound is okay, because I actually have a boom arm now with a microphone hanging off of it, and I'm not sure the placement. Actually, oh, it makes the color better if it's like on screen. Interesting. So while this is catching up, I will, though I have to like go like this to see my screen over here, which is kind of funny. Let me make sure that I pull up everything and get it ready so I can see you guys in the chat. All right, cool. So we have it all set up here. So let's see. All right. First up, we have Trashman today with his intro. Live from the state of grace, it's the Southern Belle without a Southern accent. Yet. The lady learning to properly use the phrase, why bless your heart, in all its passive-aggressive context. And now, here's Dolly with a little eagle emoji. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And I believe we have something from Mr. Rover Pilot as well that says, hello, Liberty. So, let's see who is here while in honor of South Carolina. Instead of water today, we've got a pitcher of sweet tea that I probably should have nowhere near my computer. But, we like to live life dangerously here sometimes. So that's just, we're going to put it way over there. Though that's going to be in the way in a minute. Oh, well, we'll figure it out. So if you folks saw on the post that I made, let me shuffle all this stuff around here. I have a brand new type of setup here. I've got a 3-monitor command center. So I'm still figuring out how to move everything around, and it's on a table, but then I don't have a place to put all my other stuff. But all right, let's see who is here. Tim Allen is in, Q is in, John Morgan, Iron Daisies, Mike White, Cap'n Mac 82, Lone Wolf, Aaron Miller. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Fish and Golf and Guns is here. And my says, missed you and your rapier wit. Also, side note, some folks have been commenting after the fact that the live chat does not show up in the replay. It should. I don't really know why. I don't know. I don't think there's a setting for that, but I'll look for it. Let's see. So, Iron Daisies, Jim Edwards. Let's see. Robert Graham. You can probably hear my mouse clicking because it's right under the microphone. And I have a mouse now. And a keyboard. Whoa. Jim Edwards, thank you. I'm not going to say that one out loud. Oh, Robert Graham. Oh, I don't think I can say that comment out loud. You guys can read it in the live chat, what he's more excited than. I don't think I can read that out loud. I think that's in the danger zone. Squid Monkey, Charles McGinnis, Jonathan Stevie, David Texas 1, JJ, Dave Smith, Hugh Galbraith, Mr. Jones, Frank, Joseph Crackle, Tristan Goodrich, To a Metalhead Lone Wolf, Brian Dunn, Demon117, Kill Die Res Repeat is here. Better 2 minutes late than not at all. That is true. And it looks like I'm getting like a weird in and out focus on the camera. I think I'm going to get myself a better webcam. We'll see. Psycho Chicken, Leo, P30SK, Cataclysm Chicken. Apparently there are chicken people today. Tennessee Beowulf, Ozark Yeoman, Matthew Beverly, Benjamin Sholnick asks, who is this pod person? She's never on time. I was actually ready earlier today, and it just, I got that text message at the worst time, but I got really excited. Let's see. Superboss Giovanni, who's just started gunsmith school this week, and asks how my week is going. Nice Pokemon reference with the name. My week has been very, very busy. It was not the best. It was a little bit of oversight going back to work full time 4 days after getting our stuff. Actually, wait, no. I had clients the week that we got our stuff. So yes, it was an oversight to go back to work full time, but I'm closing out a lot of my clients, and then I'll be mostly doing YouTube stuff and figuring out how to do all of that. So I've been busy. I have lots of extra paperwork, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. Mike White, Jeep Guy, Victor Smith, Rose Blight, who just got the notification. Pickle Jars for Hillary. I cannot repaint. So Pickle Jars for Hillary says I need to repaint the yellow wall. This is a rental, so I cannot repaint the yellow wall, but I'm going to see if I can rig up an old backdrop or a Don't Tread on Me flag or something. This is also where I sit to do my telehealth calls, so it has to be something that I can move. Actually, I have this big piece of styrofoam. Maybe I could tack it onto that and sit that behind me, and then so I can get rid of it when I'm on a telehealth call. We'll figure it out. Randy Thompson. Let's see. Lots of folks. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to catch up with these super chats as well. So let's see here. We've got a bunch, and then we'll just dive right in. Mr. Rover Pilot says, hair looks outstanding today. Thank you. I re-dyed it actually just a couple of hours ago because I have to do that crap myself right now. Not that it's difficult, but it's a process now where, because it's a rental, I have to lay paper towels and plastic wrap and everything all over the sink. And then I have to bleach out the tub and all the shower walls after the fact. So that's exciting. How much sugar is in the sweet tea? I don't know, because a very nice neighbor lady made it for me. And Tom Bauer says that he loves the show. Thank you. Trashman says, since you moved to America, I thought Sam Eagle was appropriate. And speaking of moving to America, before we get into the news today, let me make sure I'm not showing the part that has the address here. Oops. Oh, that's great. I got some packages in the mail. Let's see. We'll go this way. So the very first thing that my husband did upon arriving and getting Wi-Fi was ordering some of these babies in the mail. So we have some, I think it's 13 round Glock mags in another box in the other room. And here we have this is amazing. I have never touched one of these in my entire life. This is a brand new, in the package, 30 round mag for an AK-47. Brand new. I have never physically touched one of these. I have only touched pre-ban mags that were all beat up and used. I have never physically, I just realized I've never physically touched a brand new 30-round magazine. That's insane, isn't it? Let's see. What else? We have a AR mag. Also 30 round. Or is this the 40 rounder? No, that's the 30 round. There's supposed to be a 40 rounder in here somewhere. Here we have another brand new in the package AR standard capacity magazine, 30 rounds. I'll have to load these up on one of the shows like Philosopher does. And here we go. Here is another 30 rounder AK mag. Thought there was supposed to be, he said that he ordered a 40 rounder too somewhere, but that hasn't come in yet. I'm actually, if you guys want to help out, he had a great idea for a video. Oh, here we go. Box of magazines. Gen 5. Gen 5 doesn't even exist in Massachusetts. A Glock Gen 5 magazine, brand new, 15 round. Oh, wow. I didn't even know they came that big. In Massachusetts, you can, it's only like 7, I think, and you can get like the 13 round mags, but then they have stuff stuffed in them, so you can't fill it up past 7, I believe it is. Look at these. Look at these. Look at these. Look at it all. This is amazing. You could buy this online and get it delivered to your door. This has never happened ever in my life. So yeah, that inspired us to think that it would be pretty funny to do a video of X number of things that are illegal in Massachusetts but legal in South Carolina, and one of them is these boxes of mags right here. So that is really exciting. Speaking of moving to America, let's see. What else we have here? The super chats. Crazy Uncle Bob says, greetings, fellow deplorable infidel flying squirrels. And oh, I see Nate Marks is in too. Hello. Dave Smith says, buy us some more sugar for that there sweet tea. It's got enough, I'm sure. Let's see. We got Mr. Giovanni. Rose Blight says, Midland Mayor Patrick Payton, the tall city is open for business. People are saying, oh, that moving the mic might be what's causing my troubles. Let's see if that does it. My doll is back and you're going to be sorry. Hayla, Hayla, my doll is back. I'm sure that's a reference to a song that I do not know. Okay, yeah, people are saying it's trying to focus on the mic. Okay, so that's out of... See, but now it's out of shot, and it's still... Let me move it a little bit more and see if that fixes it. Is it when I lean in? I don't know. Technology. Jesse Meek. Yes, I got your message earlier. Says, I'm in South Carolina for the night, but leaving in the morning. You can keep these darn mosquitoes, though. Yeah, the mosquitoes are not great. Unfortunately, I didn't see your message until I was getting ready for all of this, so sorry. David Neal, you did not miss much. Just boxes of magazines. Oh, it's my boyfriend's back song. Okay. Anyways, so invite some fans for a range day. I have to go back to the range and get reacquainted with the range before I can do that. See, now that lighting and coloring looks bad now that that's not in frame, but oh well. So let's see. Today's part of today's show is brought to you by USCCA. And now, actually, the way I'm sitting, you can see my shirt a little bit more. We have this Lipstick in Lead Carry Confidence shirt that is from the USCCA merch store, which is linked down in the description, as well as a link for their memberships if you don't have one already. They're actually the promo that's with the memberships this month, or at least this week, is actually they are giving away guns. And I can talk about that now because I'm not in Massachusetts. YouTube probably wouldn't like it much, but yeah, if you go on the USCCA website and sign up for a membership, you can enter for a chance to win. I believe it's a Kimber today. It's a different day, different gun every day of the week, I believe. And David L. says, I'm an NRA benefactor member. The swamp needs to be drained. Can you help provide guidance on how voting members of the NRA who want change can organize and pool their votes? Can recommend for me to contact. I'm not really sure, actually. I don't know. It's still, this really is infuriating that it's like zooming in and out. What else is possibly in, there's nothing else that is in the picture that could be doing that. That's really quite strange. Let me try to move it. If I move it, we'll move it over there. See if that helps anything. I'm not even sure what it's, that's the side of the closet. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go, I guess. Yeah, I don't really know. Well, I mean, I don't know if you mean within the NRA itself or in Washington. For that, I would say, I mean, you're an NRA member, so I can't say, you probably won't like this answer. But I saw something from one of the local gun groups recently. It was South Carolina Carry that actually talked about there were candidates that the NRA was giving like A+ ratings to in the upcoming elections that are not A+ candidates as far as gun rights go. So I think you would really want to look at your local groups and see who they're talking about and who they're endorsing and why. I mean, in bottom line, really the best thing to do is do the research yourself. As far as if you're talking about people that are within the NRA that are running for various positions, I'm not an NRA member, so I couldn't tell you. I don't even know who's running to do what. But I'm pretty sure that as long as Wayne LaPierre is at the helm, it's not going to be great. I don't think I really heard much out of them, honestly, except for the lawsuits. Chester Thomas says, oh, and in other news, moms demand action in every town are going after the GOA. Really? I did not know that. If folks have any links about that, people tell me to sit still. Andy, you settle down. If you have settings for the cam, take it out of autofocus and set it for manual focus. I don't know how to do that. It's just a Logitech like plug and play. So, or it could be picking up my shadow. Maybe. We'll see. If anyone has any links on that, on every town going after GOA, that would be great. Because I would like to cover that. And if you saw the picture yesterday, I do have one studio light up. So if I can get my camera tripod thing set up, then at the bare minimum, I can work with that. And people are saying generally GOA would be good. So who do I know within GOA that you could contact? Well, there's a fellow Jordan on Twitter, and of course, Antonia Okafor. I don't know how much she's doing right now because she is very beautifully pregnant. So I don't really know what she's doing right now, but she's someone that you can definitely reach out to. And I believe she's director of outreach. So that would be a perfect person to check in with. So, and we have one more super chat, and then we'll jump into some of these news items. This Isn't Me says, wow, it's been a while since I've watched your videos. Keep up the great work from Oregon. Thank you. Well, I mean, truthfully, it's been a while since I've made videos since the move and everything. And there are a lot of folks that do not consider these live streams to be valid videos. So sucks for them, I guess. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about today, let me get up my windows with all my links here, is, let me find the right one. So there is some hullabaloo going on with Joe Rogan right now. Incidentally enough, it's not long after, I don't know which screen is screen one. So we'll do it this way. All right, cool. Wow, this is so big on an actual computer monitor as opposed to my laptop. This is awesome. I love it. So if you didn't hear, there is a lot of fire coming down on Joe Rogan and Spotify right now, and it is very coincidentally after Joe Rogan mentioned that he, actually someone else put on Twitter, I think it was someone named Tim Kennedy, I believe it's an MMA fighter or something, posted on Twitter, who wants to see a 4-hour-long debate between Trump and Biden moderated by Joe Rogan? And Trump said, I do, and volunteered as tribute to do a debate on the Joe Rogan experience, which would be really awesome. And I say that as someone who has never even listened to an episode or watched an episode of Joe Rogan a day in my life. I just know that he is not, he's not going to do your little like softball CNN interviews, or, he's actually going to, he, from what I understand, he doesn't crap on his guests and actually asks some questions and has discussions. So I think it would be, and honestly, it's interesting because I watched a documentary on Netflix just a couple nights ago. I believe it was called The Social Dilemma, and it talked about how social media is impacting our elections in a very negative way by upholding fake news and, spreading fake news and radicalization because the AI and algorithms are programmed for clicks and engagement rather than anything else, and that's what gives the most clicks and engagement, right? But at the same time, like the internet and social media, I mean, if you can wade through all the crap, there's a lot of information there, and there's a lot of things that I find out via Twitter or Facebook that I wouldn't have found out otherwise, because number one, I don't have TV and I don't watch cable news, and number two, some of this stuff just doesn't get reported in a really big way. I have this app that I use called Feedly, and it's a headline aggregate, but you can either use it and see only the headlines that are getting the most traction, most tension within, however many hours, or you can sit there and shift through all of them and all of them and all of them. And I subscribe to so many news sources on there that it would be impossible. Anyways, we can get a lot of information on social media and via the internet. And quite frankly, I mean, that's how you are going to get younger voters and younger people engaged, is through technology and the internet. Joe Rogan, I mean, like everyone, even if they've never watched or listened, everyone knows who Joe Rogan is. And that would be a huge slice of the pie as far as the voter base. So, well, and plus, I mean, I think it would be hilarious to have Joe Rogan do a debate with Trump and Biden. And of course, Biden isn't going to do it because, I mean, it would be a 4-hour debate, and I don't even know if he could handle a 2-hour debate. I don't even know, like, is Joe Biden even doing the debates? I don't even know. Anyways, so now now that Joe Rogan has come out and said, yes, cool, let's do a debate, and Trump has shown interest in it, now there's all of this crazy stuff going on, and all of a sudden, Joe Rogan, who, by the way, has had Bernie Sanders on his podcast and even endorsed Bernie Sanders, is a crazy right-wing, extreme right zealot that needs to be stopped because, he is all of the isms that are bad. He's he's supposedly homophobic and racist and transphobic and what else are they saying? Anti-LGBTQ plus IIA, whatever it is. And now there's all these problems with Joe Rogan and he's a fearmonger and blah 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 blah. So Joe Rogan's podcast now is currently hosted exclusively, to my knowledge, on Spotify. And Spotify employees are having a field day with this and trying to get him deplatformed completely. Now, it's interesting because this deal with Spotify was announced way back in May. See that? In May. Let's zoom in on that so you folks can see it. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Well, that computer is frozen. Monitor thing. Something's going on. All right. There we go. Technology. I don't know if you can see that well, but May 19th, 2020 is when this licensing deal, was first announced. Is this not going to go away? It's not going to go away. Cool. All right, whatever. I guess we're just going to hang out with that there. So now in this, everyone says that they don't know how much this deal was worth. But according to, I believe it was the Wall Street Journal that originally reported it, $100 million licensing deal for Joe Rogan to have all new episodes of his podcast exclusively on Spotify. No one said anything bad about it until this whole thing with saying that he was going to have a debate on his show. And this happened, I believe it was a week ago, that he said that he was going to have this debate. And now, all of a sudden, we have all the isms. So let's see. There's been so many. And a lot of the tweets around this, interestingly enough, are gone. So what are some of the things that people are upset about? So first off, there's been a couple things that now people are suddenly bringing up. Well, actually, first, let's go to, okay. So actually, the first thing that started this off is all of his episodes supposedly got ported over, I believe, on September 1st, except for episodes involving Alex Jones, Gavin McInnes, and folks like that. And there was actually a list, I believe, further down in this story. Here we go. Owen Benjamin, Nick Kroll. I mean, he's not very controversial. He's a comedian from the League, I believe. Sargon of Akkad. And I saw another list that had Adam Kokesh on it. A bunch of other people that I don't know. So I don't really know how, controversial a lot of these folks are. Milo, I mean, he's pretty controversial. Stefan Molyneux, who has gone off the deep end. A bunch of other people that I don't know. So there's all these people that didn't have their episodes ported over to Spotify. So there were outcries of censorship. Now, originally when this deal was brokered, Joe Rogan said that Spotify would have no control over the actual content that he was putting out, and nothing was going to change except for it wasn't going to be on YouTube anymore. It would be on Spotify. But now that these episodes weren't getting ported over, people were crying censorship. Supposedly, Alex Jones came out here somewhere and said that what was going on was that it was just that there were like 1,500 files or something that needed to be uploaded, and some of them were going slower and weren't getting ported over. To my knowledge, I believe, I haven't looked it up personally to go through and wade through all the episodes. Some sources say that the episodes have now been uploaded. Some sources say that they're still not there. Mother Jones, I believe, is saying that they're still not there. But this is saying, this tweet from whoever this person is, who is on Joe Rogan, says that now the episodes are up. So that was controversy number 1. So then we have controversy number 2 here with with staff members of Spotify saying that they no longer feel safe at work because there was an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience on Spotify that they felt was dangerously transphobic. So there are 2 episodes that they are referring to when they talk about this. The first one, I believe, was back in July. Yes, July 21st. He apparently had someone on the podcast named Abigail Schreier. Don't know who she is, but she apparently wrote a book. And that book cited a study out of Brown University that I talked about on the show before, actually, not because of anything really about the data it was talking about, but the fact that the study, I can't show you because it's been amended and taken down. The study out of Brown studied and polled some folks in, I think it was the UK, who suddenly had teenage daughters that were going to gender reassignment clinics, basically. And they were finding that, at least in this particular area, there was a huge increase in the amount of girls going to these clinics, but not the amount of boys. So there was a huge influx of teenage girls, like high school age, early teenager, 13, 14, 15, 16, like that sort of age bracket. And they kind of found that if like one girl went, then like her other girls in her friend group started to go, at least in this particular area. And the researcher made a horrible mistake of like calling it a social contagion. And all of these people went into this huge upcry and demanded that Brown take down the study and that the professor be fired and blah, 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 blah. And Brown did, in fact, take down the study, saying that it was hurtful to the LGBT community and damaging and all of this other stuff. And they made a public apology, blah, 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 blah. That's why we talked about it on the show before. So this woman apparently cites that study in her book. And it's interesting because they accuse Joe Rogan of saying that trans people are a social contagion. I didn't listen to the episode, but the study that this woman is citing in her book used that actual term. So it is entirely possible that he didn't just pull this out of anywhere and is talking about the actual material in that study that this woman talked about in her book. And then they referred to it, I guess, in this episode. Here we go. Social contagion right there. And comes from a flawed and since-corrected study by Brown University researcher Dr. Lisa Littman, which suggested that trans youth, primarily trans boys, are rapidly identifying as trans due to social and peer contagion. I mean, there are other explanations for that. If there's friend groups that are now suddenly expressing gender dysphoria. I mean, it could be that they were gender dysphoric to begin with, and you make friends with people who you relate to and can have empathy with and who can understand your experience. Or it could be, I mean, who knows? There is no, I don't think that there's one solid answer to this. But either way, The article also complains about how Joe Rogan has previously referred to trans individuals as having mental illness. But, I mean, as a therapist from a psychological perspective, at least in Massachusetts, I don't know if this is everywhere, but at least in Massachusetts, if someone is looking to transition, they first need to undergo counseling to make sure that they are in fact gender dysphoric and really are trans, and it's not like a trauma reaction or something else like that. And there are specific special gender therapists for this, and one of the qualifications is that you be diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which is in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I used to have it on my desk, and now it's in my little library shelf in the other room, so I can't display the DSM. But I mean, that is something that is in the DSM and is something that it is a diagnosis given to people who then go on to get surgeries or hormone treatments or whatever. So I mean, I feel like these people are kind of cherry picking things, and, you know, be that as it may. So that's the dealio with that. That's episode number 1 that they were complaining about. Then there's episode number 2. And this one, Media Matters is complaining about it. I don't know if YouTube's going to be mad at me for showing this article, but whatever. So I actually watched this clip, and the episode in question he is talking about a stand-up bit that he did in 2016. This is not something that he said. This was from an episode that was on Friday, I believe. Yes, it was last Friday, I believe. And he was not saying this is actually true. He was literally saying, oh, I did this stand-up routine in 2016 that said that Caitlyn Jenner was trans because he lived with crazy women. Or she lived with crazy women, and they convinced her that she's a woman, is the joke that he was making. I mean, it's not altogether a very funny joke, but I watched the clip, and that's what Joe Rogan was saying, and that turned into this whole big firestorm where he's saying that they took it literally instead of a joke that he made in a stand-up thing back in 2016, and they were acting like he said it now, basically. And so, because of that, now we have folks at Spotify that, I mean, look at this. Sparking criticism over unfounded claim. Of course it's unfounded. It was I almost said a bad word. It was a joke that he made for a stand-up routine in 2016. He's not claiming this is some sort of fact, and yet Business Insider has to make sure that you know it's an unfounded claim. So crazy. So crazy. So much so, an inflammatory and false claim that he made in a podcast episode on Friday. So now they're calling him homophobic and transphobic, and the Human Rights Campaign now is coming after him and complaining that Trump is now aligning himself with Joe Rogan just for agreeing to go on the podcast for a debate. Where is it? Let's see. Where he says it specifically. 3 days. Trump has aligned himself with Rogan. Just 3 days after Rogan's anti-trans comments, President Trump expressed interest in participating in a presidential debate moderated by Rogan. And he says, I do. Given Rogan's offensive comments, Acosta, not Jim Acosta, this is someone who works for the Human Rights Coalition, said, given Rogan's offensive comments, Acosta criticized Trump for appearing to consider participating in an event with a podcast host, which would undoubtedly give Rogan even more visibility. The last thing we need is Joe Rogan getting a larger platform. Joe Rogan has already been defined as the most influential and biggest podcaster in the world. they said in the deal that his podcast gets downloaded like an insane number of times. It's just nuts. Let's see. The Joe Rogan Experience is downloaded nearly 200 million times per month and makes $30 million annually. And they're worried that Trump agreeing to go on the podcast will give him more exposure. Absolutely ridiculous. So people over at Spotify got so upset that they had to have 10 meetings about this one episode to determine if it should be taken off the platform. Surprisingly, which really surprised me, is the CEO actually decided to keep the episode up and defended his choice, saying that just because they have the episode up doesn't mean that they're not listening to employees. He's just taking a free speech stance, which is really surprising. And here I already highlighted some of the info. So some staff inside the company feel alienated by Spotify's hosting of certain The Joe Rogan Experience episodes. They've already see this too says that they've already removed episodes with some right-wing figures, including Alex Jones and Gavin McInnes. And this was written 2 days ago. So, like I said, some sources say the episodes are up. Some people say that it's not. Whoa, really? Sorry, I'm seeing things in the chat that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away. Really? Wow. Okay, folks, let's, okay. We're gonna pull this up. Jeez. Okay, well, I guess we have breaking news right now. Wow, let me pull this up. Damn, okay. Well, thanks everyone for alerting me in the chat. Thank you, Q, because I saw it was the super chat that I saw first. All right, and then we'll do some super chats. Let's look at this. Wow, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg dead at 87. I was starting to think that that woman was invincible. Let's see what it says. And thank you, Tim, for posting this article in the chat so that we can look at it together. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on Friday. The court announced she was 87. Wow. I mean, hasn't she had cancer like a dozen times? People are telling me to put it in the title and tags. All right, we'll put it in the title and tags. All right. How do I even put that without people like, we'll just put breaking. Man, I don't even know how I can put that in the title without people freaking out. Suggestions? I guess we'll just put it, we'll just put it as they did in the title here. And we'll move this. Okay, what's the timestamp, guys? Where are we at here? Like 44:20, we'll say. RBG starts at, well, we'll put 44. Let's see. Okay, 44. We'll just say starts around 44 minutes. All right, and then we'll put in the hashtags, hashtag Joe Rogan. I don't do the hash, I really should put hashtags. Okay, cool. We'll save that and get rid of this. All right, folks. So thank you for this information. So let's see. So she was appointed in 1993 by President Bill Clinton, and in recent years served as the most senior member of the court's liberal wing, consistently delivering progressive votes on the most divisive social issues of the day. Along the way, she developed a rock star type status and was dubbed the Notorious RBG. I have never heard that. Has anyone heard that? I have never heard that before. In speaking events across the country before liberal audiences, she was greeted with standing ovations as she spoke about her view of the law, her famed exercise routine, and her often fiery dissents. 5 bouts of cancer, okay? So she suffered from 5 bouts of cancer, most recently a recurrence in early 2020 when a biopsy revealed lesions on her liver. Oh, that's never good news. Liver cancer? That's actually what took my grandfather. In a statement, she said that chemotherapy was yielding positive results and that she was able to maintain an active daily routine. So people in the chat are saying that she also just announced that chemo was going well, and there was just a press release that was put at that. So, okay. Well, apparently that press release was not correct. Let's see. She said, I have often said I would remain a member of the court as long as I can do the job full steam. She said in a statement in July 2020, I remain fully able to do that. There was also, wasn't she... God, all the months are blending in together. Wasn't there also a bout last year as well? Or people were speculating because she wasn't seen, or wasn't there something she fell and like broke a rib or something like that? Wow. She told an audience in 2019 that she liked to keep busy. And she told the audience that she thought she would serve until she was 90 years old. Wow. So this is going to be really interesting, actually, and to see what goes on going forward now with appointing a new justice. Wow. Let's go into the chat and see what folks are saying here. Let's see. Mr. Rover Pilot says RBG ended her long-term career Friday with her death. Oh, God. You guys are saying some things in here that I am not going to say. But I'll say what Q said. Q said, please don't celebrate her death. That's what libs like to do. She was still a person, even if you didn't agree with her. I just had 4 people around me die. It's not fun. I agree. She was still a person, and even if we don't agree with her views and we don't agree with some of the decisions she made, it's still not right to celebrate someone's death. So I admittedly... I know what typically happens when they need to appoint a new justice and, a president is just coming in and they put in their suggestions and, they do all these hearings and briefings and blah, blah, blah. That's basically what we saw with Kavanaugh. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now, and with the election right around the corner, are they even going... I guess the question is Congress even going to try to move forward with getting another justice in before the election, or are they going to wait until after? Because right now, 538, which does a bunch of like polling and stuff like that, is saying that number one, I saw earlier today that they're saying that Democrats are actually a favorite to take over the Senate. And number two, they are saying that Joe Biden is ahead and that Joe Biden and Trump are actually virtually even in, I believe, Florida and North Carolina right now, according to the polls. So I could see that they would try to put things off as long as possible if there is any hope of Democrats taking the Senate, because then they have the House and the Senate and supposedly, theoretically, could railroad anything through. So Talisman says it's all up to Mitch. He sets the rules for the Senate. Okay. Zealot Now Chosen says Trump is asking Biden for his list of replacements. And people are saying that now the Democrats won't cooperate. I don't think they were cooperating to begin with, honestly. Don Patrol 21 says she was still a person, however, no need to weep. Biden is a person also, but he is still sniffing people, including kids. Guy that comments says Trump needs to put a solid pro to a female judge, even better if she is a minority. But I mean, the thing is so doesn't he make, Andy Robichaud is saying a new justice won't happen until after the election. There is no way that they would let someone else in this close to the election, because they would want to, I'm sure that they would want to wait until after the election, hoping that they can tip the scales. And honestly, I mean, even the pro 2A judges that were put in recently weren't even that great, and the Supreme Court has still turned down 2A cases over and over and over again. So, I mean, it would be great to have one pro-Second Amendment justice, but I don't really know how much good that would do at this point. I'm trying to see. Let's see. This is an article that CNN links to. They say that it's a court announcement, but it's not a court announcement. It's just fast facts. So that is inaccurate. Let's see. I mean, and even if they managed to do some hearings or something before the election, I mean, imagine it would be this huge dog and pony show and they'd be fighting it every step of the way. Mark Walter says the new court session starts the first Monday of October. Tristan Goodrich says Roberts is the issue there, not Ginsburg. I mean, Roberts, from what I understand, has done a lot of flip-flopping. He would, vote for one thing. Well, he would decide something one way at one point, and then years later, it's like, oh, well, yeah, but like this seems to be like the popular status quo, so we're just going to do this now, is what I understand that he's been doing with a lot of different cases. Let's see. People are saying that Minnesota is going to be really close. Q is asking if we can put in Collier Noir. That would be pretty cool. Dave Smith says that he might nominate someone just to piss off the lefties. I mean, I don't know. Has there been like the death of a justice so close to an election? Is that like a thing that's happened before? And I mean, and how long are the spots? Like, is there a limit on how long those spots can be vacant? Let's see. I mean, I doubt that there would be any information about this when it seems like this was just announced like 20 minutes ago. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's just announcements that she's passed away. Nothing on, here we go. Here's an article. This is from 2016, and it's about Justice Scalia, but it's why the death of a Supreme Court justice in office is unusual. Let's see what WAPO has to say. So like I said, this is about Scalia. This is from 2016. Let's see. Only 38 of the 57 Supreme Court justices who served between the nation's founding and 1900 died while in office. Okay. Wow, for the first half of the century between 1955 and 2005, there was not a single death of a sitting Supreme Court justice. That's weird. It's interesting to note that far more justices have died when a member of the opposite party holds the White House. Well, that's some fun fodder for conspiracy theories. And again, they just talk about how rare it is as well. So do we know? I know that I have heard some podcasts in the past. I believe I might have heard Styx mention it before. I might have heard Tim Pool mention it before. Because people have been talking for a while. Well, what happens if Ginsburg passes away, and who the other possible nominees would be? I don't know. Does anyone know that list? Let's see. I see that someone says that they put Finn McCool says no cure for pancreatic cancer, so they didn't tell the public. But this said in July that it was liver cancer. Scalia. Sorry, it was Justice Scalia. Jared's video above. Okay, so we're going to Jared's video. Let's see. I don't know, the chat is going way too fast for me to... Okay, let's see what this is. Ah, yes. Okay. Let me unplug my headphones and... Guns and Gadgets. All right, Jared for the win actually has a video. It is 36 minutes long. So we're not going to watch the whole video, but let's see. I guess we'll link it. Well, I'll link it for you guys in the replay because it's a 36-minute video talking about Trump's list for possible Supreme Court nominees, which apparently includes Ted Cruz. I'm not sure how that would work. Let's see. Trump's possible Supreme Court picks. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is from September. And let's see. So this is Trump's list. He released this list. Oh goodness, sorry guys. Was released by NBC in September of 20 new possible Supreme Court picks. So let's see who some of these folks are. So he's adding 20 names to a list of Supreme Court candidates he's pledged to choose from if he has future vacancies to fill. Wait. Oh, September 10th. I forgot that it was September. So this was released just 10 days ago. Sorry, guys. Let's see. So the list includes a trio of conservative Republican senators, including Ted Cruz of Texas, Tom Cotton of Arkansas. Oh my God, can you imagine? Tom Cotton would never get it after all of that crazy shenanigans, hullabaloo about his editorial that he was going to put in, I believe, the New York Times. That didn't get posted, and all the crap that happened with that. So I'm linking it in the comments for you guys. I mean, can you just... Ted Cruz, I mean, can you just randomly pick someone out of the Senate? That's Interesting. And Josh Hawley of Missouri, all buzzed about potential 2024 Republican presidential candidates, as well as Christopher Landau, the current ambassador to Mexico, and Noel Francisco, who argued 17 cases as the Trump administration's top Supreme Court lawyer. Okay. Trump tried to cast the list in contrast with judges who would be nominated if his Democratic rival, Joe Biden, wins in November, warning Biden would select radical justices who would fundamentally transform America without a single vote of Congress. Even though Joe Biden has never outlined his list of potential picks, and the Senate must confirm any nominee. I can see that being a little legitimate concern, though. Especially with the two, we'll call them Freudian slips. The two dog whistles or Freudian slips, we're not really sure which, in which both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden called it a Harris administration or a Harris-Biden administration. So, I mean, there's been the theory for quite a while that if Joe Biden were to win, it was really going to be Kamala Harris at the helm and not actually Joe Biden. He'd just be kind of like a puppet candidate. I think that's pretty logical. I think that that's really possible. And if that were to be the case, then yeah, of course, we'd get some radical judges. And I mean, that would be interesting because on the one hand, right, we had, God, was it even this year or was it last year? Who knows? Time feels like March was both like just a couple months ago and 80 years ago. But there was a point in time where AOC and Nancy Pelosi were having a little cat fight, right? And then once we got closer to the election, suddenly they're friends again, and, you know, the Democratic Party is really trying to appease the extreme left base. They could do that with some extreme left justice picks, right? So it's supposedly part of a strategy that Trump used in 2016 when he released a similar list of could-be judges in a bid to win over conservative and evangelical voters who had doubts about his conservative bona fides. So who else do we have on the list? A bunch of people that were in the Trump administration, including Gregory Katsas, who Trump nominated to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. Before that, he was a legal advisor on some of the president's most contentious policies, including his executive orders restricting travel for citizens of predominantly Muslim countries, and his decision to end a program protecting some young immigrants from deportation. This guy, let's see. So also on the list is Francisco, who was the former Solicitor General of the United States and defended Trump's travel ban, his push to add a citizenship question to the U.S. Census, which ended up getting turned down, and the decision to wind down the Deferred Action, so DACA, program that protects hundreds of thousands of young people from deportation. Also on the list is Daniel Cameron, the Kentucky Attorney General, who is currently deciding whether to criminally charge 3 Louisville police officers in the March shooting death of Breonna Taylor. Oh, well, that's interesting. Interesting. That could be a really interesting pick, depending on what Cameron chooses. If he chooses to charge the police officers or not, that could have a really big impact if he were actually made into a legitimate pick. Interesting, because that could go a couple of ways, right? So if they did pick Daniel Cameron and he did decide to prosecute the police officers, then the thin blue line people would be against him. But at the same time, you would have the people on the left that are anti-police right now, and then you'd get the anti-police brutality people in the middle. So that would be a really interesting pick, but we wouldn't. I don't know what the rest of his record is. That's definitely something that I would have to look into. Cotton tweeted his thanks to Trump about being recommended and said that it's time for Roe versus Wade to go. So, wow, this is crazy because this was just posted on the 9th. The High Court is currently divided 5-4 between conservatives and liberals. While there is no current vacancy on the court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, 87, has been undergoing cancer treatment, and 3 other members of the court are in their 70s and 80s. Wow, that's pretty crazy. People are saying Rand Paul. I would love a Justice Rand Paul, quite honestly. I've been neglecting super chats because I saw this. I was finishing up that other story, and then I saw you guys talking about this in the chat. So I'm going to go over to super chats, and then we'll go back to this breaking news here. Let's see. Chester Thomas, thank you for the, oh, it's a little pupper with a heart. Oh, that's so cute. Andy Robichaud said money's towards a Liberty Doll Range Day video as soon as so step 1 is getting my South Carolina driver's license, and then we'll go have some fun. Let's see. Rancho Chava says, love your channel. Most gun channels hosts are eyesores, LOJK. I mean that with much respect. Love what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you. Rose Blight said, you're like a kid on Christmas with all of those standard capacity magazines. Brand new, still in the package. Again, something I've never physically touched before because I come from Massachusetts and those are illegal. Jesse Meek says, never seen you smile so much. Welcome to the land of the free. For those that are tuning again, or just tuning in now again, that is, my smiling is not because of the Ruth Bader Ginsburg news. It is because I ordered brand new standard capacity magazines in the mail and got them in, and in Massachusetts they were illegal because you have to have pre-ban and you cannot order any of that stuff online technically. Leo P30SK says, you will have to make videos on the range with all your new goodies. I am hoping to do that. Let's see. IB Trippin says, this is for 10 gallons of Freedom Sweet Tea. Twerk1 says, another good news app is Ground News. Gives you biased choice by headline and source. Interesting. So Ground News. Let me get my handy dandy Pokemon pad here and write that down. Ground News. Okay. Tim Allen says, hydration is wonderful. I don't know how hydrating tea is, but And Aaron Miller says, did you see the video of the Antifa kid accidentally set himself on fire with a Molotov cocktail and the hilarious memes that came because of it? I did see some of the clips that they put music to, but I actually, still with everything going on, unpacking, setting up, I did not look at the news until yesterday. And, okay, so now we have, Q, SoCal, Acrophobia, Mr. Rover Pilot, all saying that, announcing the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg at 87. Twerk One says, condolences to Ruth's family, but thankfully we'll get someone that takes Constitution seriously. Possibly. We don't actually know. Again, I would be willing to bet that, let me see if I can pull up that article that I was looking at earlier from 538. Let's see, which window was that in? One of these. Okay, oh my goodness. Let's see. Where 538 was talking about how Democrats are slated to win the Senate right now. Because that would really change everything. Let me just Google this. 538. Dems to take Senate. I have so many articles saved that it would be... Here we go. All right, let's pop this over here and see what 538 is saying. Let's see. Here we go. They're saying it's only slight, but according to 538, which does a lot of election polling and congregating it, but I mean, Nate Silver, Democrats are slight favorites to take back the Senate. So if articles like this are coming out, and this is just as of 6:30 this morning, I would imagine that the Democrats that are on the panels, they are going to work hard to try to make sure that no one gets in before the election. So Democrats are slight favorites to regain control of the Senate according to the 538 Senate forecast, which launched today. So let's see that. So this is the actual forecast here, according to 538. So they are slightly favored to win the Senate. So I'm not really quite sure how to read this graph. So, okay, here we go. So in 42 out of 100 scenarios, Republicans win control, but in 58 out of 100, Democrats win control. So that Democrats have an 80% chance of holding between 47 and 54 seats. So that's what we're looking at here. So their model ran 40,000 simulations. Wow. Higher bars represent more common outcomes. Our presidential forecast determines which party gets control when the Senate is evenly split. So here it looks like it would be 53 to 54. So, I mean, that would be a really slight majority. I don't even know how much of an effect that would have. So this is where they're forecasting each Senate seat. That's a lot of information. So it looks like there's actually a lot of places where seats are up for election here. So there are 23 Republican seats and only 12 Democrat seats up. So really, it's going to come down to if they're flipping states, which could happen. So that is 538's predictions here. Hold on, let me check this. This might be important. Oh, that's Andy. I just got your message now. So go figure. So yeah, I think knowing this, they're going to work even harder to try and make sure that there's not any new people put in if they really think that they can grab the Senate, if they think that they can grab the presidency. There's no way that we're going to get a new justice before the election. Absolutely not. Google user says that Texas has a lot of seats coming up. And Hugh Galbraith asks, why would people in poorly run Democrat areas keep voting the same way? Well, because it's easy to blame the other side, honestly, and say, like, so for an example, coming from a blue state, there is a lot of folks up in Massachusetts that say, oh, look at the red states and how poor they are, and look at how awful they're doing, and blah, 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 blah. And see, people in blue states typically really enjoy and are for big government. And because they are for big government, they're not going to turn around and blame government and government regulations for whatever ails them, right? They might like blame a specific person, but they're not going to blame government policies as a whole, is what I have found. And there's a tendency to, like, you know, for example, moving down here, my father-in-law, day after day after day, told us that we were moving to a trailer park. I had lots of people tell me that the South is racist and that they don't have an economy and everyone is poor and that people in red states vote against their best interests, which is ironic because folks in red states say the same thing about the folks in the blue states. But I mean, honestly, one of the biggest things that I have noticed being down here is the economy here is booming. There are help wanted signs everywhere. Everywhere. There are tons of places looking for jobs everywhere, from like BMW and like Michelin and like these big industrial areas and like biomedical stuff, all the way down to the Chick-fil-A, which, by the way, is hiring at positions starting at $15 an hour, which is more than what fast food workers get paid in Massachusetts. Believe it or not, a little bit ironic. And so, you know, it's just, you know, you are not going to see Democrats, well, leftists blaming their own leftist government for the issues that plague leftist cities, is what I'll see. John Morgan asking if anyone has seen Kim Klacik on The View. I did, and she is savage. She is on fire. She's awesome. Ofer Nave says you can always find a scapegoat in a system of irreducible complexity. Who can say otherwise? Right. People are saying many people without computers. I don't know about that. Aaron Miller says the city of Louisville settled with the family of Breonna Taylor for $12 million. I heard that. I heard that they were settling. I don't know if that actually officially went through. Oh, you told me how to say your name last week, and I forget. Was it Lafiva? Happy for you. Psychologists will rule America, to be honest. I don't know about that. But, all right, let's go back into the super chats here because it is 8:20. I also was supposed to text my husband my takeout order and never did. Matthew Beverly says, don't forget that the newly elected officials do not take office until January, and Kavanaugh was approved in 3 months. The Republicans have time. Okay, I mean, that's true. I mean, it did take Kavanaugh three months, but I mean, there was so much going on around that. My God. Offer Nave says, see RPG pundit on YouTube, anti-woke D&D designer. Oh, I'll write that one down too. That would be pretty cool. I got to start looking into having guests on here again too, now that I'm getting all properly set up for it. On Twitter, can't guarantee this, on Twitter at least, Jo Jorgensen said that she would be willing to come on. I just have to go on her website and fill out the little media request, so we'll see if that's true. I didn't fill it out yet because I wanted to be set up, and then my brain somehow deleted the month of October, and I was like, oh crap, well, I'm not going to ask her now because the election's in 2 weeks. And it's like, oh wait, no, it's in 6 weeks. So I'm going to fill out that request and see if we can get Jo Jorgensen on the show. Let's see. Q is saying, don't forget to thumbs up. Joseph Crackle is saying, suggestions for my takeout It's a Thai place, and actually, incidentally, where it's going to be a Thai restaurant. It is the only place so far that I've gotten scolded for going in without a mask, and it wasn't even on purpose. I had like fallen out of my purse or something in the car, and I was like, "Oh, whatever. I'm just running in." And most places around here have signs but don't enforce it. This place enforced it, and I walked in, and like the people around me scattered and acted like I had the plague, and told me that I would need to wear a mask next time or else I wouldn't be able to pick up my takeout. And I was like, oh, I can run back to the car and find it. And they were like, oh, no, no, no. And they picked up my credit card with 2 fingers like this and acted like I was a leper. Rod L. Miller says selecting a justice from current Congress would be ill-advised. Any cases before SCOTUS from FISA abuses, etc., wouldn't be able to hear it, leaving 4-4 split. That is a really good point. That is a really good point that I hadn't thought of. And I mean, I don't know the rules for picking people and putting them on the list. I don't know if there's certain qualifications that they have to meet, but for some reason, to me, Ted Cruz doesn't feel like he would meet those qualifications, and I don't really know why. I just feel like that wouldn't be, I don't know. David Sousa says, now is the time to throw Judge Roberts under the bus for voting against the Second Amendment by not taking up cases. You can make a good case for a conservative woman for Ginsburg to equal out the court. I mean, yeah, you could make a good case for it, but I mean, since when? I mean, by and large, I don't think that a lot of the politicians in office are truly interested in justice or following the Constitution. And I will say that there are folks on both sides that I could say that about. So even though you could make a good case for having a conservative woman or more conservative woman on there, I mean, Cole Hubbard said Nikki Haley would be a great choice. So I don't know about tons about Nikki Haley, but I do know that when she was governor of South Carolina, she supported constitutional carry and had said that if it landed on her desk, she would sign it and pass it. So because of that, I like her. Rodney McCart is saying, so Mrs. Liberty, are you saying if you had your mask going, your credit card would be okay? That shows you that people are morons. You try not to say stuff, but look at it. Yeah, I mean, that is a really good point. Really good point. Zealot Now Chosen says, no justice in America yet. Mr. Rover Pilot says requirements for Supreme Court justice does not require a judge or even a lawyer. Really? That seems strange to me that it wouldn't require someone to have experience with the law, because, I mean, that seems like that would be really pertinent. People suggesting Candace Owens, but saying that she's too young. God, that would be really, that would divide a lot of folks. That would be really polarizing, because I know there are a lot of folks that do not like Candace Owens one bit. Captain Mac 82 says there's a bump stock ban under review by the 10th Circuit breaking today. That's interesting. People are saying they should require a new Supreme Court justice before the year ends. So apparently September 15th was supposed to be a no mask day. I don't know about that. But it will definitely be interesting to see how all of this pans out with this news about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And, I mean, how quickly are they going? Well, I mean, if the next session doesn't start until October, are they going to wait until then to start suggesting people? Because, I mean, I feel like if suggestions were made right away, like on the one hand, okay, if session doesn't, I would be afraid if well, afraid is not the right word, but I can picture, okay, so news breaks that she has passed away. So now there's an empty seat. So Trump puts forth his picks and automatically gets accused of, too soon or like dancing on her grave or something like that and not waiting long enough. I could definitely see that being some headlines in the news 100%. So the timing of things will be interesting too. Let's see. Wikipedia has announced it before. You can find it on Google. It says D. Grimes. I don't know what exactly that is in reference to. Let's see. Reps, according to Richard Miller, reps blocked, what's his name, Merrick Garland. Don't be surprised if Democrats give payback. And then I just saw someone else give a really good suggestion. Oh, Andrew Napolitano. That would be awesome. I would endorse that 100%. Judge Knapp being on the Supreme Court. Yes. I would take that in a heartbeat. That would be awesome. Probably really unlikely, but that would be so cool. That would be really crazy. I'd be all about that. All right, so it is 8:28. So let me make sure that I got the last of these super chats. Thanks to everyone who's here for putting up with, number one, letting me know about that breaking news and then putting up with me finding sources and getting it up on screen for you guys and all of that. Let's see. And it looks like we have all of the super chats. Good. All right, folks. So we did not get to the talk about Venus and the cool space news or the White House siege. The short version of it is that the folks that did Occupy Wall Street announced that they were going to put a siege on the White House until the election. And then there was all this stuff going on with Trump threatening federal charges and Barr threatening to charge people with sedition. And then the organization backed off and then decided that instead it would be a peaceful, non-violent protest featuring improvised jazz music, which feels so weird and random. But yes. All right, folks. So again, thanks for sticking around. Again, this shirt that you can't see as well now because the lighting got weird is from USCCA's new merch store. This one says lipstick and lead, carry confidence. And if you join USCCA with a brand new membership this month, you can enter for a chance to win one of numerous guns that they are giving away. So again, both of those links are down in the description, as are various support options and all of our program affiliates. I say our, but it's just me. All of my program affiliates. And Q says we need the plant behind you. The plant was adopted by a friend of mine because I didn't think that it would make the trip. Yes, troll with a purpose. Jazz is weird and random. So everyone, we will be back to some regular short form videos, hopefully very soon. And I will see you guys on the next one. And now I'm going to go order my takeout.